Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Simply Investing. I know it's been a while since my last video, and April kind of sucked. Got a lot on my plate, got a lot to do with work and trading, and last month was a busy month. I was up 22%. I was like, dang, that was crazy. Up 22%. Oh my God, I'm almost reaching the 3,000 mark on this Robinhood app, on this experiment app. But as far as with the Betterment and comparing Betterment into Robinhood, they're still nominal. Like, I think Robinhood's still got to beat by like $2, and Betterment's up now. It was down at the beginning of the month, but it's up now. But it's only up about $1.98. I think Robinhood app is, I'm up about $4.50, somewhere around there. It's pretty interesting. So it is keeping up with what you can trade with the same amount of money. It is doing its best to keep up with it. I know I said I want to start another channel too, about starting a business, and believe me, I'm gonna, once I figure out how to subset the channels with under one, I will do that. I will have my first video. But with that business, I got my federal tax ID, I got the business registered, and now I'm just waiting on my state tax ID, so I can start selling. And it should be any day this week, and I'll be able to pump that out. I want to talk a little bit about stocks first. I'm pretty strong on Apple still. I know they keep saying, well, it's down, there's not a lot of value. The company's still great, the company still makes money, the company still pockets money, and I can't believe that a company that makes $200 billion in revenue every year doesn't have value. Like, that doesn't make sense to me, because and like I said, this valuations don't make sense to me, because they're like, well, Facebook has this value. Well, Facebook doesn't make that much as opposed to Apple does. It's like I said, I'd rather make the hardware rather than be on the software, because the software can come and go. You're popular now, but someone better than you is gonna kick in. It always happens. It always happens. It will always happen. It doesn't matter how good you think you are. And the social media scene may die itself out. More and more colleges are telling you, don't do anything to social media. Don't post pictures on there. So it's like, if you don't post pictures, then the odds are you're not going to use it. That's just that to me, it just doesn't make sense. I get it. The idea of Facebook was to connect with college friends and staying in touch, but it has become something greater than that and grander than that. But I think its utility of Facebook is starting to hit the wall. Even though people say, well, there's going to be a lot of value in the future, unless if Facebook starts showing that it can start producing 200 plus billion in revenue annualized, I can't see it having more value than a company that does that on a regular basis. And that's what people don't understand. People are like, well, they're still in the startup phase, but it's like, it's been 10 years. When are they not going to be in the startup phase? When are they going to be in the phase where you got to start expecting money? And I'm not saying anything bad about Facebook. I'm just saying, as an investor, it doesn't make sense for me to want to put all this time, all my capital in this, or any part of my capital in this, when there's better players out there that give me more of a return, more of a value, and dividends. That said, the next one is, I'm looking at the biotech industry seems to be flowing. I mean, forget just biotech, pharmacy. The pharma industry is just starting to grow. So I think it might be time to get back into some of those big pharmaceutical companies. I think there's going to be a lot of revenue to me, and I hate to make revenue off of, I mean, that's what you're doing. You're making revenue off of plight. But, there's a lot of new vaccines coming out, and they're putting in a lot of work. The Zika virus, it has some tremendously bad effects, but, someone's going to come up with a vaccine for it, and someone's going to make money off of it, and that's the idea. So, things like that. I think there's just a lot of great things coming out of that industry right now. As long as you can stay away from the Martin Scarellis, you'll probably do fine. Another guy I think that people keep missing is Ford. I mean, I got Ford at like $11.58. Now it's at like 13 something. I mean, I've had it for 7 months now, and it hasn't really done much other than pay me dividends, which they pay great dividends, great for the price of it. So it's like you own the stock, and in 3 years you made your money back, regardless of whether it went up or down. And they're definitely taking the right steps to make it happen. Their cars are getting better. They're listening. It's like before 10 years ago when I bought my first, I say 12 years ago when I bought my first car, I didn't buy a Ford because it looked cheap. It was priced higher than what a cheap car would be. So it's like you're paying $20,000 for a car, you get into it, you're like, well, this is pretty cheap looking for $20,000. It's like you might as well go buy a Toyota, which has better gas mileage, and it's like $12,000. And it's cheap, but it's also cheap. It's got cheap materials, but that's not the idea. It's an economy car. It's like, but I think Ford has broken away from that. They put a lot of focus on making the cars more to what consumers want. They've gotten better on gas mileage, and also gas seems to be settling at the right price that people are still willing to get bigger cars. So I expect a lot out of Ford for the rest of this year. I would definitely invest some money in there, put that in one of your strong dividend stocks. Another great one is, I know there's some hard things in the financial community. It's like they're just not making enough money, and that's because the regulations are getting tighter and tighter and tighter. There's really nothing you can do. But my bet's still on Wells Fargo and Bank of America. JP Morgan kind of. They're kind of there. They're doing okay, but I also do foresee that these banks are going to get broken up. Public opinion is going to weigh high, and the regulations are going to change. So, especially since they're not lending any money. It's basically right now you got big banks acting like small banks. Like, small banks generally don't lend a lot of money. They don't. They're very, very tight with their lending. But lending is how banks make money. And big banks lend a lot of money, and they make a lot of money. Problem is big banks aren't lending money. But I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if someone sticks their head into the subprime market again and does it the right way and doesn't try to rip off customers. If you send a structurally sound financial product target to subprime customers, you will make a freaking fortune in that industry. It's like someone just got to figure out how to do it, and it will. I'm waiting for that company to show up. I'm going to invest in it. I'm telling you, I'm going to make a fortune off of it. Well, with that said, guys, like, stay true to your process. I know I haven't been doing this well, but the process of investing is just analyze the financials, look at the numbers, leave your emotion out of it, stay focused on your goal. Don't worry about what other people are investing in. Build your strategy and stay true to it, and don't let your emotions hit when this market's going up and down, because that is when you will not make any money. With that said, guys, respect the process, follow the process, stay true to your investment strategy, and always just stay focused on next. Because when you rush, you lose focus, and you're not going to be able to make the right trades. With that said, thanks, guys. Thanks for your support. Like, subscribe, go to the Facebook page, like the Facebook page. Always comment, feedback, anything. I will try to answer as many questions as possible. I will see you next time. This month I'm gonna try and get out more and more videos for you guys, and I will see you guys next time.